Day. Full moon in Gemini. That means anything to you. Anyway, every day is special, right? This is Emily, and coming at you from Toronto, Ontario, the snowy city right now. And I'm here with this beautiful woman, Caroline Oxberry from the UK.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, we're just here to chit-chat a little bit about the work that we do, and we just love to share a little bit about ourselves, our journeys, our work, and just really offer it up as a way to share and support in your journey and your life, wherever you may be at this point in time. So, we are here, and we can open up the floor to any questions after, because this isn't a live situation. But yeah, we can definitely open up to some questions if you ever have something as we go along. So, welcome, Caroline.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, just staying warm here in Toronto.
Yeah.
Hibernating a bit.
Quite cold here as well.
Yeah. Well, so Caroline, you reached out and you were just wanting to connect because we're kind of undergoing this huge process on the planet of awakening and connecting. And so now there's more and more people who are kind of switching their lights on and really wanting to come together in community and collaboration and supporting each other as we go through like this huge global awakening process on the planet. And so it's amazing that we have the ability to kind of reach out and connect with each other from halfway across the world.
Yeah.
And just share a little bit about who we are with each other, and just share our similarities and share our differences, and rejoice and celebrate those. So I'm grateful that you decided to connect with me, and I just want to give the audience a chance to really get to know who you are and what you're all about. So if you want to just share for a few minutes about yourself and your journey. And
so like you say, it's really nice to be able to connect with people from all over the world who have similar interests, similar just ways of life, really, rather than interests. I think it's just more of a how you live your life, I suppose. So predominantly I am a Reiki master and a mindfulness and meditation coach, and I'm based in the northeast of England. And so I try to teach people how they can help themselves by using their environment. So a lot of people who come to me have lots of stress and anxiety issues. So I try and sort of not so much dumb it down, but try and just teach people more of the basics and try and keep things simple enough for people to understand, to be able to help heal themselves a little bit more. And I always bring in our energies. I love working with energies and things, and it's just so fascinating that there's just so much widely available in our world that we can use to help heal ourselves, rather than, bringing in the old pharmaceutical companies and things. There's so much more that we can use to help ourselves to heal. And where I come from, some people are open to it, some people are just not really. But it's lovely for people to be able to come to me with certain things and be quite skeptical of what I'm going to do with them. But then they're always eager to come back and to learn more about the energy systems and things. And the majority of my clients haven't got any sort of awareness of the energy systems and things. So it's really nice after they've been in a session with me to then have them even just ask questions about, well, how do you know there's a blockage here and what can I do to overcome it? And it's just really nice to be able to help people to, like I say, heal themselves. I'm just a big believer in the fact that we can heal ourselves. retrain your brain to think differently, use your environment, be happy and be healthy. And really that's, I think, what it's all about, isn't it?
Definitely. And I love energy work because it does kind of like break everything down to simple terms. Like it can be super technical and super complex at the same time, but really like the whole idea of what I feel like our job is like kind of the intermediaries, or because we've kind of gone through a little bit of a process of understanding it, right, like already in our journey. And so for us, for me, I feel it's important to really simplify it and really just like embody the idea that really when we're feeling disharmony, or when we're feeling discomfort, or when we're feeling like a diseased kind of state of mind or being or body, it's really just that there's some part of us, there's some aspect of us that's just slightly out of alignment with the true source of energy that empowers us and that animates us and that illuminates us. So it's really just, I love that you're like showing these new people and teaching these new people that like what the energy systems are all about, and how everything is energy, and how when we align to that, we experience a state of health and well-being. So it's very, very important work.
Yeah, and it's nice as well when, like I say, when people come in and they've got no real understanding, but then the more you see them, the more, like you say, it's not a basic thing really, energy work. There is so many different aspects to it. So it's nice to be able to build on that with each client that comes in, if they are keen to learn more. And as well, it's nice to open people's minds more to the fact that our human body is just our human body, and there's so much more to explore about ourselves. And that's really nice for me to be able to, I mean, not as if I have my sessions, like the first session, I don't say, look, what I say goes, like this is how you should be. But I give people sort of information, little snippets of things, and they do tend to come back to me with, oh, well, actually, I do feel this and I do feel that. And it's nice to be able to open people's minds a little bit more. Because like I say, where I come from, people are quite closed-minded. So I quite like the idea of the fact that even just meditation, like I've had a session tonight with a group of ladies, and none of them had meditated before, and so I was a little bit like, oh, like how is this going to go? But all of them.
That's amazing, though. That just shows that like all these people are, starting to connect to something big.
After the class, everybody was saying how relaxed they were, and then people started to then open up about certain things. And I had the same class last night, but with another set of ladies, and they were on about, because I did a visualization meditation, and they were on about the colours that they saw and things. So then that was really good for me to be able to bring in the energy system with them, and sort of what I was saying was resonating with them. So that it's always really nice when you're a practitioner to be able to give people all of this information that actually does ring true to them, rather than just, saying things, just thinking, oh, is this right? Is this not? And it's always a lovely feeling to know that you are bringing that person a little bit more clarity about who they are, and then obviously giving them a little bit of guidance as to which direction to go in to help to improve things.
Yeah, that's incredible. Isn't it true that you can see this when you share all the stuff that people already know it. Like there's something within them that's already aware of this. It's like the truth that kind of resonates in their being already. It exists there, and it's just about peeling away the layers that it's kind of like removing layers from the third eye of awareness, and just like reminding people. So it's like speaking words that vibrate these truths within their being, and then it's like, oh yeah, it's like they kind of already know. Well, these things have been around for, like, the way that we work and what we're bringing forward has been around for thousands and thousands of years, and this is the way that people have been healed and whole and,
Yeah.
you know, for thousands and thousands of years. And so it's really about kind of like just kind of putting up like a flag or like a light and saying, here, like I can, because I've done the work, I can like remind you or reflect back to you that you already have that inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that way, you know, we attract people who are kind of ready to drop the old programs and drop the old identities or just these old energies that are kind of outdated and expired for them, you know.
Yeah.
And we're seeing this so much more now,
Mm-hmm.
in our current ways of living in our current societies, I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
because
And I
people
think,
are just like, it's not, first of all, it wasn't built to be sustainable, and secondly, it's not fulfilling energetically. Like, it doesn't enliven people the
mm-hmm.
way that this society has been built upon. So now it's like, okay, well, we've kind of gone through initiation in a way. You know, we've gone through our process, and here we are now. We're ready, and we're just kind of just putting up our flags for those people who are also like questioning things and wanting to step forward on their path too.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, I think that all comes down to just the society and the modern world that we live in as well. I mean, I haven't been brought up to be anything other than living in the modern world. So for me, I can resonate loads at the minute, and this is where I'm quite passionate as well, because it's only recently that I've started to feel an awakening process, and this is where I'm quite passionate about it all, because I think if you can, some people are obviously born and they're very intuitive people, but the more work that I'm doing for myself, about myself, and it, like you say, it's trying to strip back the layers of your third eye and of your crown, it is ingrained in you from when you
Mm-hmm.
were however many lifetimes ago, if you had the lifetimes, and it's searching for it. And that's why I'm really passionate about everything at the minute, and I can feel like huge energy shifts and things like that in everything that I'm doing, and hopefully that will resonate into my clients as well, because there is things going on that you can explore about yourself. And I mean, I listened to a training the other day, and so a few years ago I was really tight chested, and I thought, oh, have I got asthma? And I got tests for asthma and things like that. I had upset stomachs and things. But I watched a training yesterday about getting this awakening of energies and, you know, spirit forms and all of that. And that asthma, it was never diagnosed with asthma or anything like that, and that could basically be my physical body becoming awakened to all of these other things that are going on in my world. And I've never thought of it in that way before, but the more work that you do on yourself, the more you realize that dreams you've had when you were younger, what, you know, there's loads and loads of things where you maybe didn't think of it at the time, but if you going through this time of, like I say, an awakening stage in your life, then loads of things that have happened to me previously, I can then relate to sort of what's in more in my consciousness now. So it's all really fascinating, and it's really nice to be able to help clients along that route as well, if that's sort of the way
Totally.
that they want to go down.
Yeah, yeah, I love doing that. I love seeing like the lights kind of switch on for people and just like remembering certain things about themselves. And I mean, that was very much, I love that you said that, because I remember when that started happening for me too,
Mm-hmm.
where I started like something just switched on for me, and I was like, oh, like this is who I am. And then I looked back at my whole life and I saw all these like really significant memories that kind of like fell by the wayside. But then when I finally realized, I'm like, oh, this is what I am. Like, I look back and like see all these times where I am being that as a kid growing up. And yeah, I think you're right. Like, we do kind of lose sight of those, or they kind of get lost in the you know, debris of all the other
Yeah.
memories and feelings and stuff in our lives too. So it's great to like
Mhm.
bring that forward in yourself. And I feel like you're right, when like you're working on yourself and that starts emanating out and affecting your families, your friends, your communities, you know, your provinces, your countries, whatever it is, it starts with us and our own like stepping into our power and our awakening, and then
Mhm.
that ripples.
Yeah, yeah. And I think all the work that you can do on yourself is just so massively beneficial for, like you say, not just you, but
Yeah.
everybody around you as well, because you don't know that by you doing all of this soul searching and whatever you want to call it, you don't know where that's going to lead you to then maybe be able to help loads of other people. Because I think at the end of the day, that's what we're all about, trying to help other people. And I don't think it's about, you know, putting all of your views onto people as if like this is the way it should be. We're just trying to use what we are here on this earth to do, to try to just help other people. And that's where I think we're all quite passionate. I mean, I've been speaking to a lot of other people who do what we do, and that's what it boils down to, the fact that we want to just help other people. And I know when we spoke before, we both said we'd sort of had quite similar lives really as we grew up, and both huge empaths. But that again, that wasn't in my consciousness, that being an empath can sort of help you along on your journey a little bit more. It was just sort of, oh well, I mean, where I come from, people just say, "Oh, you're too soft," but it's more
Oh
than
yeah. Oh yeah. Too sensitive.
yeah. But it's just more than that, and it's all part of building who you are, to then be able to, like I say, go on help other people in whatever way you can.
Definitely. And actually, I just read this amazing article by what's her name? I think it's Lisa Renee. It's called Increasing Sentience. And she wrote this amazing piece about how, like, along our evolutionary journey, empath, or like our empathic nature, is there to help support us on our evolutionary journey, because it connects us to the idea or to the truth that everything is one.
Yeah.
And so in order for humans to evolve, we have to be able to experience everything else that everything experiences,
Yeah.
that everything feels as our own. And that's how we really get to know that the truth. We get to experience the truth for ourselves, that we're all connected. And so in truth, like, I believe we are truly all empathic. And I think there's maybe like the first wave of empaths and the second wave of empaths, and or whatever you want to call it. There's multiple different names that we can call it, but empath, like having an empathic nature, seems to be universal in like the first waves and bringing that energy forward on the planet. So yeah, I believe that in truth we're all empathic, or we're all empaths, and we all have an empathic nature. Maybe there's some beings that don't, but we'll leave that discussion for another day. But really, that's our step forward on the evolutionary path, because it is connecting us to the truth that we are all one, and it's actually giving us the physical, embodied experience of that.
Yeah.
And so it's really, again, it's about removing the things that are in the way of really knowing and experiencing our true nature, which is one who is interconnected with all of life.
Yeah.
And so when you actually get that experience, then you become a different person, because you can't hurt anything. Even a fly, it kills you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then you just want to connect, and then you want to, like you said, step into your role as like a healer or a leader, showing other people how to step into that for themselves. because we can feel so much, we do want other people to feel good.
Yeah.
You know, in a way it's selfish, but in a way it's also like we know that that's the path of what everyone will be walking into at some point. So yeah, there's so many empaths out there. I know like this has been a really important part of like my teachings and my writings and everything, like just supporting people, because I know that as an empath, like if you're unaware that you're empathic, you're going to be picking up everyone's stuff, even globally, not knowing that that's what it is.
Yeah.
So I know so many people who are like empathic, who have depression, have anxiety, have like extreme fears about things. And most of that is, and just like it kind of can create like the inability to actually lead your life or to live your life.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important to bring awareness to the fact that like, okay, well, you're highly empathic and you're feeling all of this stuff, and then start the process of developing that and mastering that. And I think that's where it becomes an empowered empath. And I think like, again, like that's what we've had to learn how to do, right? To manage it, to understand it, to manage it, to develop it. And then from there, you know, we can also guide other people to do the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And a second part to that is that your intuition, your sight, your inner sight, including your heart and your gut. So those three things in tandem with your higher self, all create the experience of empowerment when working together, because when you're in alignment with that energy, then you know, okay, like this isn't a positive thing for me to be focusing on, or this isn't a positive environment for me to be going into, or this isn't a positive person for me to be interacting with. Or like then you get to know like, okay, this food is going to help support my system. This food is going to help like cleanse something away from me, or this product or whatever, you know? So yeah, so it's important to like really understand and be gentle and kind and compassionate with yourself as an empath.
Yeah.
Which I feel like as kids growing up, you and I, like you said, we had similar stories, which were just that like we were highly, highly emotional, sensitive, soft, whatever you want to call it. And eventually like started to see that that wasn't socially acceptable. And so we began to put the layers up and the shields up, and through that, you know, we became a little bit desensitized from our hearts and from feeling everything so deeply. And so as we awaken after that, it's about like, you know, breaking those barriers and walls down that we've created in order to not feel. Because really, feeling, like my beloved would say, is our superpower. And it really is. When we, you know, when we can support, like when we've developed ourselves and we know how we can support ourselves, it really is our superpower in this world. So.
Yeah, it is definitely. And I've just had something tonight, a couple of hours ago, and someone in my family has terrible anxiety, and she rang us, and she's got 2 little children, and she came round, and I mean, all I did was just ask her to just breathe.
Yeah.
And breathe. And she's just messaged us there actually saying, I feel so much better. But like you say, it's something that we have, like it's not really a gift. I suppose some people can see it as a gift, but to me it's more just being passionate about everything that we do, and having an awareness. And when you've got an awareness of it all, like you say, you're using your intuition and things like that, when that awareness is there, then you can help other people to find that awareness if that's what they want. And even when you talk about just mindfulness, living a more mindful existence, if that awareness is then brought into your consciousness, you then start to live a more mindful life. And it is all about, like, we've sort of discovered our gift, if that's what you want to call it, and it's just doing the right things by it, and it's listening to your heart, and it's listening to your gut, and you know, bringing in each of your energy levels. And it is just really, really, I think a lot of it boils down to you using intuition, trusting yourself, and listening to your body and to your soul, and just everything, and being able to then pass that on to other people.
Definitely. And in your work, like, well, in your journey, in your experience, like, you had to experience the physicality of like a restriction of something happening physically for you to kind of like question things or like go into something, right?
Yeah.
And to really like explore a part of yourself that maybe normally you wouldn't have like been aware of, or you know, been in desire to explore. So I think, yeah, it's important to pay attention to like the physical things like anxiety and whatever it is that, like, if you have any sort of pain, or you know, or if you're going through any discomfort in your physical body, in your physical vessel, it's important to pay attention to that and really like start like see somebody who can kind of shed light on that from an energetic perspective.
Yeah.
Right, because we know that everything starts out as energy, and as it becomes more and more dense, because we're not aware yet about all this stuff out here, it becomes more and more dense, and then it comes and sits in our body. And usually that's how people pay attention.
Yeah.
Right?
Again, it comes down to the awareness, and obviously at that time in my life, I wasn't aware that this is how my life was going to end up being, and this is what I was going to be doing with my life. And at the time I just thought of it as, why can I not get my breath, and why have I got these stomach issues, and now I'm aware that actually it was all because of a more spiritual being and existence, rather than just being just complete physical issues.
I think that's really what we're exploring in here to shed light on. But we have to go through that first, right?
yeah. But it's so exciting to be in the stages of exploring everything, and I presume even in years' time I'll still be exploring stuff about myself, and I presume, I mean, there'll be so much to explore, and it is really exciting. Can I just ask how you got into all of this, everything that you do, and now everything that you're about now?
Sure. I mean, it's a story. I've been doing this for 11 plus years now. I had a very painful experience that, well, energy just kind of led up to a painful experience because of the choices and conditions that were happening in my life at the time. And that painful experience, which was like isolation, separation, the feeling of just like being like exiled in a way from my friends and my family, and just like being very disconnected from myself and from everything, just led me to start asking questions. And one night I was in bed crying, and I was just asking God, you know, like, why am I here? What is my purpose? What is the point of all of this? Like, I didn't really understand. And I think like somebody who's awakening gets to this point of, like, they call it the dark night of the soul, and it's like this real like honest like request, a real honest kind of desperate request for purpose. And it can happen easily for people. I'm not saying that you have to go through the dark night of the soul, or that it has to be jarring or anything, but that was my experience, and I've noticed that in many people. But yeah, that's kind of what started my journey. It's just like me questioning, like, what is all of this about? And the next day I met somebody who kind of took me under his wing and showed me, reflected back to me like a few things about who I was, and basically answered those questions for me. And since then, like, he would suggest readings for me. He would suggest videos. He would just suggest like pieces of information. Like, he started teaching me that like nothing is solid and like everything is energy. And like he started introducing me to like the quantum realm. And at that time, then I started to get really excited that I was like by myself all the time. And I really took that time to go inwards and meditate. And then I started like, I don't know how it happened, but I kind of like started coming across the information about chakras. And yeah, so I basically dived full on into like the esoteric realm and the spiritual realm. I started feeling beings around me. I started studying tarot and just learning everything that I could get my hands on. And yeah, I'm just like taking really good care of my physical body and like I said, meditating a lot. And eventually, like I went through times where I wasn't so connected after that, but yeah, eventually it led me to the experience of having like my hands on fire. And I was part of this spiritual development group at the time, and it was all about learning how to like communicate with our higher selves and our guides and everything like that. And so I was in this group with these amazing women, and I was asking them, like, my hands are so hot all the time, like they're burning, I don't know what to do. And they're like, well, it's because you're supposed to be doing healing work with them. I was like, oh, okay. Never really like thought about doing that, but ended up just looking for something, and nothing was really resonating for me. And then one day at my job, something came to me through resume that I was checking out, and I checked it out. It was called Healing Touch, and I checked it out and that just resonated right away. I started crying and all the whole thing, and then I started learning about Healing Touch and took some courses with that, and just practicing on people. And then from there, it's just been like a whole, I've just done a whole bunch of different things. But really, the main point for me was really about just like learning about energy, how it works. Like that was really the most exciting part of me. So like really studying the quantum realm and like the Akashic field and just information that's beyond, the five sensory perception. So that's really what like got me. And then yeah, just my journey has been so synchronistic. Like just looking back and just experiencing along the way, it was so perfectly kind of orchestrated that like the right people, the right information, the right everything was just like lined up for me. It's like I've already it was already done before I even got here on this planet. That's how it felt. And so it's just been like my curiosity and my intuition has kind of pulled me forward in the directions that I needed to go. And like I said, it's not like I've been perfect, and it's not that I've been like feeling that connection the whole way through. I veered a couple times, and I think we all do, but we always know that feeling when we're in alignment with our higher selves and with our truth, and with our soul purpose and everything. So it's been amazing.
Yeah, there's just so much that you can learn and explore, and I think when it boils down to your intuition and like you say, you just know. I mean, for me, I knew that I needed something different in my career, and so I thought, oh well, I've always been aware of the more natural life and things, and so then I thought, oh, I'll go and learn massage. So I went to college, learned massage, and then I came across Reiki, and like you say, with the whole everything to do with energy work, and that's what has led me to now be so passionate about everything that I'm doing now. It wasn't so much the massage, the hands-on type of things. It's since I learned Reiki, and that's when things have started to fall into place a little bit more for me. But I've really had to work on my confidence and being confident in trusting my intuition. And that's been like a massive thing on my journey, just being confident with who I am and learning to trust everything that comes into my consciousness. So
Yeah.
I think everybody's journey is just totally different. And as well, I've had to be quite mindful of not comparing with other people's journeys
Right.
and things.
Yeah.
And, you know, everything happens, like you said, things have been mapped out before you even got there. And I think everybody's journeys is totally different. But I think we've got a lot of similarities in the fact that something along the line has made us want to do what we're doing, and then the whole thing about energy work and just how huge a field it is, and like we've said, helping people the best that we can.
Yeah, definitely.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting, and it's also challenging.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that. Anybody who's been on this path knows how challenging it is, because we're aware that healing and integrating and holding ourselves takes a lot of work. It's difficult because it's like you have to face a lot of the things about yourself and about life that are not so pretty.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of compassion, and it takes a lot of like commitment to the path, because you will have to face your inner demons, so to speak, or your inner, darknesses. And as that exists within us, it also exists on the planet outside of us too, right? So there's that inner outer reflection happening all the time. And so this is so exciting, and I like to keep a positive spin on it. But anybody who does go through this journey will know, it's not all sunshine and roses. But it's so worth it, because really, like, life just becomes more like, there's more depth.
Yeah.
There's more meaning. There's more, like, you can feel things more fully. Like everything, like, the sip of coffee, like the sound of somebody singing, like the birds, the feeling of the breeze on your face, like everything becomes so much more.
Yeah.
And that's how we're really meant to live, in that moment to moment, like, connection with everything, with ourselves, with life. And that's really, us in our expanded state. So, like, removing all the prickly things that are in the way of that growth and that expansion out, that is the work.
Yeah. And it's all about just not letting life pass you by as well, and trying to enjoy everything as best that you can.
Yes, most definitely. So, Caroline, what is it that you're up to these days to support people? Like, I know you're working one-on-one with clients, and you do a variety of different therapies, alternative therapies like massage and coaching and mindfulness and meditation, which is amazing, because I think it's important to get people together in community, in physical life. And I love that you're doing that. And how can, so just like, just give us an idea of like what you're doing.
Well, recently I have set up an online platform, the White Feather Tribe, and I've got a vision for that, to create a space for people. A lot of people come to me with stress and anxiety, and like I say, people then want to explore the energy systems a little bit more. So basically the platform has been put together to encourage people who want to deal with everyday stresses, anxieties, worries, and people who want to gain more of an understanding of how they can help themselves. And I wanted to have an online platform because it can either be confidential if people don't want to interact with other people, or if people do want to interact with other people and get to know how they deal with certain issues and things, then they can do on the live calls that we'll do. But as well, everything is recorded, so there'll be meditations, there'll be trainings, just general guidance, group healing sessions. I just wanted to bring in every little bit of my knowledge that I've learned so far to try to, like I say, just help people as best that I can, really, and provide a platform where, like I say, it can be confidential or it can be interactive and create a nice community. So that's available on my website, which is www.whitefeathertherapies.net.
Mm, that's amazing. Thank you. I think it's important that you said that, because some people aren't wanting to get into community and share. Some people are wanting some support anonymously. So thank you for sharing that and doing that. That's important.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people as well don't have the time. People are all tied up in jobs and family. They don't often have time to go somewhere, to be around people and, you know, find out more about themselves, help themselves a little bit more. So I think by having an online community, everything's just readily available for them to be able to access whenever and wherever they can, really.
Definitely. I love that. Thank you. And one of the things you mentioned was that, like, a lot of the stuff that you've seen or you're seeing in clients is like anxiety. And so I'm wondering if there's something that you can, so let's say there's some people watching today who have been experiencing a lot of anxiety or depression or just feeling like a lot of overwhelming heaviness.
Yeah.
What are some ways, or what are some suggestions for them that you could give?
Yeah, so one of the main things that I always teach my clients is how to breathe. And it sounds really silly, really basic, because we've breathed forever and ever. But people don't tend to breathe properly. So it's all about breathing from the stomach, nice big deep breaths in and out. And I always ask people to imagine just a really white, pure light going in from the crown of the head, traveling all the way down to the base of the spine, and then just back up again to the crown, and just big deep breaths. And by imagining that white light, it's really, really balancing. That's what helps me. I do always say to my clients that the more you do all of this type of work with yourself, you'll find things that resonate more with you. So for me, it's the white light. I love that to help me to feel balanced. But other people might bring in different things that really help them as well. Like I say, everybody is different. And another thing is to imagine you've got a center point somewhere on your body. So for me, it's my heart. So imagine that this is a point of your body, and you're going to breathe in and out of this point in your body. And imagine on every in-breath, it gets bigger and more enhanced, and it's just a big calm and effect all over your body. So the more you breathe into it, the larger it becomes and the calmer you feel.
I feel so calm right now. Thank you. You're good at that.
Yeah, and go outside, enjoy being outside.
Totally. That's what I always tell my clients is, like, I see a lot of people, thanks for sharing that. I see a lot of people also, I mean, it's the universal thing, I think, like, when we're not connecting to the energies that are most beneficial to us. But yeah, a lot of people I see as well who are anxious. And so I see energy fields and energy systems and what would support them and where they're disconnected and all of that. And I can see it in a lot of people haven't chosen fully to be here in body.
Yeah.
So that connects, or that creates a disconnection with the earth that we live on, our planetary body, which is like hugely powerful. And when we're connecting with that energy, when we're connecting with Gaia or earth energies, we can anchor all of the energies that kind of happen crazy up here and out here. We can actually send those into Gaia and earth, and then those energies can be we can be supported by this gigantic planet that we're living on, right? As opposed to like just living as a separate like physical body that's trying to like take all of the harsh like energies and the frequencies that are directed towards us every day, and trying to deal with that on our own. So we really need to, like you said, go outside, like get connected to the ground, the earth, like anchor in with that root chakra and that sacral chakra, because those lower chakras are there to support us
Yeah.
as they connect to. I mean, I like the visualization of like connecting the cords or at our root, from our root chakras into the center of the planet, the earth core.
Yeah.
And that energy feels so nourishing and nurturing and supportive to me.
Yeah.
And then that way, you know, we're not like this separate being, a separate entity, just like trying to make our way, trudge through the energies. We're really like calling in the support of Gaia. And when we do that, we're unstoppable.
Yeah, that's really, really good.
But yeah, breathing is so, so important. And you said it sounds funny because it's like, oh yeah, well, we've been breathing forever, but like, you're right, we're not actually taught how to breathe properly.
Yeah.
We're not taught how to breathe properly. In fact, like a lot of the things that we experience in life is like, you know, it's like a go-go, fast-paced, like there's no time, you know, like high stress, high anxiety, and like we don't appreciate or value the slowness of life and the slowness of the moment, and just like really connecting into that hugely powerful exercise.
Yeah. And I think that's what it's all about, just really slowing things back, slowing things down, and just really taking in everything and enjoying everything as you go along.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you, Caroline, and I'm so grateful that you're doing the work that you're doing, even though, like you say, you know, there's not a lot of, you know, openness to it right now, but I feel like it's coming.
Yeah.
And you know, you are a leader and you are a light and you are a way shower, and I honor you and I appreciate you and I value your work and your service immensely. And I know that your work is just going to continue to grow, and more people are going to feel your energy, and they're going to just come to you because the purity of the light that you emit is going to attract them to you.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, yeah, good job and keep going.
Thank you. Right back at you.
Yeah. Well, now that we're connecting this global network, you know, we can all work together and assist each other and support and encouragement and love and whatever else that we need, right?
Definitely. There's a lot.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
So yeah, if you're interested in working with Caroline, energy work, do you work via distance, or is it just in person that you do?
Both, either hands-on or distance. Yeah.
Okay. So anyone from around the world can contact you and get in touch and either ask you questions, or they can hire you as somebody who can assist them and guide them in learning about their own energy systems and healing. And so it's whitefeathertherapy.net.
Yes, correct.
Okay, great. And do you have like a contact page and email and stuff there?
Yeah, and there's also Facebook as well as another platform to connect, and that is just /White Feather Therapies 2.
Okay, great. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Caroline, for suggesting that we do this chat. I'm so grateful for that, and for sharing yourself and your heart and your work, because I know this work is our heart. So yeah, thank you. And yeah, connect in anytime, you guys. We're happy to answer any questions, and we're happy to support you in your journey. If anyone's interested in finding me at all, you can find me, Emily Elizabeth Cleland, on Facebook, or my website is ignitespirit.ca. So, yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. So we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks. Bye.